to my channel. Today, talking about this hurricane that's going on. So right now they're saying it's a category 5. That's what they saying, so I'm gonna check it out real quick, see what's going on. Yeah, that's my little weather station right here. I got going on right now. You know what I'm saying? But well, I'm telling you, if it's a circle, it's supposed to be hitting Florida by Wednesday. As you can tell right here, it's gonna be hitting Florida. And they have it has Orlando in a direct hit, so that's not good. So it's gonna get Pine Hills, yeah, Pine Hills, Orlando, Disney, Oak Ridge area. They're all gonna get hit by the hurricane pretty bad. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, Janvier Family YouTube. Shout out to Carmen, London, Asia. It got some time before it comes, but right now it's powerful. I think they said a category 5, it has about 155 miles per hour wind. So you could tell it's kind of it's a powerful hurricane. It's going to be a powerful hurricane. So I'm about to put on the news real quick. You know, we see what the news, what the media people said, what's going on with it. You can watch some of that real quick. So we'll put that on for you guys. They say that's supposed to be the most powerful hurricane right there. So Category 4, that's the max you could get, right? So it started as a Category 4. No, it started as a Category 1. As you can tell right there, it started as Category 1, right, for the hurricane. Then this is by time it went to 2, then it went to 3 real quick. After that, end up a 5. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I know they said Tampa, a lot of people for Tampa, they gotta evacuate due to the hurricane coming. So that's a must. They got a little way to go, because what we got right here, from my understanding, this not a part of the hurricane. It's not a part of it, right? This another tropical depression right here. This part right here is still a tropical depression. So all that lightning and thunder we're getting right now, it's not a part of it. So it's gonna get a lot worse. We got some time to go. I think by what time it says. By Wednesday, it's going to hit us. By Wednesday. Some news on here. It says it's supposed to be about good 12 feet of water coming through Tampa Bay. That's a lot of water. You know what I'm saying? So hope you guys get out of there, evacuate soon as possible. People that's coming through Tampa, this is all gonna be flooded right here. Especially this Tampa Bay. Oh no, that's gonna be bad right here. The hurricane's gonna come right through here, flood all this area up right here. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely gotta evacuate. Gots to. Look at all this open right here. All this. I think all these houses right here too. Yeah. all these houses right here, all is gonna be flooded with the water, and surge. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, all these houses right here are all gonna be messed up due to the hurricane. And we go back, yeah. Even these houses right here, they have a lot of these houses by the beach. I don't know why they build these houses right next to literally right next to the ocean. And the hurricane's gonna come right through here. And just zooming out, I'm just showing you guys how big the hurricane is right now. If you guys can see, you can see how big the hurricane is. I'm just gonna zoom out, look at it. Here we go. Zooming out. It looked like it's about the size of Florida. About. Yeah, it's about the size of Florida right there. So right now it's still a Category 5. It's still a Category 5 hurricane right there. You can see this right here is supposed to be the eye of the hurricane. That's what the people gotta be worried about right here. This is what it has the most strength, most power right here in this eye. Yeah. So I wonder what type of damage did it do to these other islands right here.
Hola a todos ustedes, soy su meteoróloga Erika López. En este jueves 26 de septiembre, huracán Helene tocará tierra sobre el área de Florida esta noche y los impactos serán significativos sobre partes del sureste de los Estados Unidos y también a través de
All right, I'm gonna let you guys watch this for a little bit. I'm out.
Let's jump right in with the biggest hazard, surge. We only have 48 hours or less before a 5 to 10 foot surge, a very dangerous one, arrives on the west coast of Florida, locally up to about 12 feet. Everybody in the pink now has a storm surge watch in effect. We also have a hurricane watch in effect too. Surge will be the biggest issue with Milton. Some neighborhoods might be isolated, cut off, or underwater. I'm also expecting a few gusts of 90 to 100 miles per hour at the immediate coastline. Farther inland, widespread gusts of 70 to 80 miles per hour, so widespread power outages are likely too. That means if MEMA needs electricity, if somebody needs electricity for help devices, invite them over ahead of time and make plans now rather than scrambling during or after the storm. It's also pouring right now across much of central and south Florida thanks to moisture streaming east ahead of Milton. So 3 to 5 inches before the storm even gets here, then Milton will dump another 4 to 8 inches, so some localized flooding is possible. If you haven't already, follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. For more updates, I'll be flying down in about 24 hours, and follow my radar across the board on all social media platforms too. So a few things. Milton, high in Category 4 right now, almost a Cat 5. It'll be a Cat 5 by probably shortly after lunchtime today. It is a mean storm. It's roiling with thunderstorms, and to the point where the eye wall has something called an enveloped eye wall lightning signature. Basically, we don't normally get lightning in eye walls unless the storm is really strengthening fast, and it still has that signature of lightning all around the eye. Now, the storm central pressure dropped about 3.5% in 4 hours' time. That's basically like 1% per hour. What that means doesn't sound like much, but what that means is that you're literally vacuuming 1% of all the atmosphere's air up and out the middle of the storm every hour, which is an incredible amount of work attesting to how powerful Milton is. And that missing air in the middle, that vacuum effect, is what spurs the strong inward winds. Simply stated, that's the fastest intensification I personally can remember in the Gulf of Mexico doing this job for a number of years. And here's one more shot of all the lightning surrounding the eye. Again, still strengthening. The crazy part, the hurricane hunters even found hail coming in the northwest eye wall. So suffice to say, we'll likely have a Category 5 by this afternoon or evening in the Gulf of Mexico, north of the Yucatan. So what's next? Well, the storm has been trending a little farther south than forecast, meaning a closer shade to the Yucatan. But that also means, if we start off a little more subtly, the Hurricane Center is adjusting their forecast track for landfall a little more south as well. But Tampa is still in the cone, could be directly hit. So Fort Myers or Naples, Sarasota, anywhere in that zone. And the important thing to remember too is that little shifts in track, 5-10 miles north or south, will have all the bearing on surge impacts because the surge is mainly south of the center with the onshore winds. So if the eye goes 10 miles north, the surge lifts 10 miles north. If it goes 10 miles south, it goes 10 miles south. It's a big deal. Now, even though the track is technically south of Tampa right now, all 4 major hurricane models simulate a track near or north of Tampa, which would give Tampa Bay a historic and very dangerous storm surge of up to 10 to 12 feet. So if you're in Tampa Bay, you need to be taking this one seriously. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. What you need to be doing right now is making sure that if you're within 10 feet of sea level, you can get out of Dodge because there could be a very serious surge. Tampa, Fort Myers, Naples, Punta Gorda, Sarasota, any of y'all, have a plan now. Now, the only saving grace is that this storm will be weakening a little bit as it approaches landfall. It won't be a Cat 5, it'll probably be a Cat 2 or 3 for 2 reasons. Number 1, dry air working into the circulation will kind of erode it from the inside out a little bit. And number 2, disruptive upper level winds might try to knock the storm off kilter. Now, you might think, wow, that's a good thing, a weakening storm. Not exactly. Sure, it'll still be a Cat 2 or 3. It won't be a 5, but a Cat 2 or 3 is mean, believe me. And number 2, as the storm weakens, it expands. It's like the ice skater. When she's spinning, she
All right, if you join me right now, I am Jolly. Be quiet. We are live right now, watching the hurricane live right now. That's what we're doing. We're just watching, tracking the hurricane, seeing where is it going. Cause no one really knows right now. No one really knows. So we're just tracking it. Jolly, be quiet.
Which is still very intense, and the storm surge is going to continue all the way into Florida, even if it weakens. So this is still a very major situation, especially for the west coast of Florida, for both Wednesday and early Thursday. This eye will make an appearance right across central Florida as we go into Thursday morning, and that eye will eventually go towards Daytona Beach as we go later into the day. Heavy rainfall will continue across Interstate 4 and northbound, and that will lead to the potential for some major flooding in those areas. And then once we go into Friday, things start to clear out a little bit. Another thing I want to point out, after it goes back into the Atlantic Ocean, we are going to see a northerly wind, which will push even more storm surge into the east coast of Florida, and as well as back through Georgia and South Carolina as we go throughout the daytime hours on Thursday. So the problems basically do not end after this is, out into the Atlantic Ocean. It's still going to be causing problems Thursday. Now, in terms of total rainfall accumulation, which is one big concern, we are going to be talking about the potential for flooding, especially in this part of Florida. That is mostly north of I-4, but even along I-4 is where there will be a potential for 10 to 15 inches of rain, and some isolated locations will have the chance to pick up as much as 20 to 25 inches of rain, depending on if, most of the rain just sits over top of you, essentially. So, again, another big problem with this is going to be flooding, especially for inland areas. Again, this is highly contingent on where the eye of Hurricane Milton goes. If it goes right up I-4, I think the worst of the rain will be up in this part of Florida, so from Tampa back through Jacksonville. However, if the eye makes landfall down in Cape Coral, which I don't think will happen right now, but it's still not being ruled out, the worst of the rain would actually happen in Sarasota, Tampa, Orlando, and Daytona Beach, where 10 to 15 inches of widespread rain would be in the forecast. In terms of wind is going to be another big concern because we are expecting numerous to widespread power outages outages as we go into Wednesday and Thursday across Florida. I think the worst of the power outages will be happening overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. That's when the bulk of these power outages will be occurring. Wind field, where the hurricane force winds are, will be sitting just offshore, if not impacting the immediate west coast of Florida near Sarasota, Tampa, and Cape Coral as we go into Wednesday evening. That's around 11 o'clock or so. Tropical storm force winds for most of the rest of Florida. So even Tallahassee could see some of that as well, as this hurricane will actually be growing in size by landfall, even though it'll be weakening. By the time we go into the overnight hours, the hurricane force winds move inland, eventually going towards areas like Orlando, Tampa, and then also just south of Gainesville. These wind gusts could be even higher than what it shows on here, by the way. I'd say these are still kind of conservative numbers when it comes to wind gusts for Florida. However, I would definitely be expecting somewhere around 90 to 100 miles per hour, even over in Orlando, and then Tampa and Sarasota, even around 5 a.m. Thursday. Winds will probably still be very strong in central and western Florida. The worst of the wind will eventually move towards the east coast of Florida as we go into Thursday morning, with wind gusts near 70 to 80 miles per hour, even over in Daytona Beach, Palm Bay, and also back over near Cape Canaveral. So the winds are really going to pick up as we go into Thursday morning on the east coast of Florida, because this is not going to be a hurricane that weakens very fast. It's going to move right back into the Atlantic Ocean. So the land that's interacting with is not going to weaken this very quickly. And then as we go into Thursday afternoon, the wind still stays strong for most of the east coast of Florida. And then eventually as we go into the evening hours, we're still dealing with tropical storm force winds for eastern Florida all the way until Thursday night, and then by Friday morning we are finally done with what Hurricane Milton will be. But obviously, again, we have a long next few days ahead. In terms of the tornado threat is expected to be mostly confined on Wednesday and early Thursday across central and southern Florida. So near I-4 and just south of I-4, that is where we're anticipating the greatest tornado threat. It's not expected to be a high tornado risk, but a few tornadoes will be a possibility. The Storm Prediction Center for Wacky Weather Wednesday does have a slight risk of severe weather in effect just to the south of I-4. So right along I-4 and south of it near Orlando, near Daytona Beach and Tampa, and then south of there, this is where a few tornadoes will be a possibility in central and southern Florida. For whatever reason, people keep talking about Category 6 hurricanes in my chat. Guys, there's no such thing as a Category 6 hurricane. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. If anybody else says Category 6 hurricane beyond like 3 minutes from now, you're probably going to get timed out. So please stop saying it. It is the biggest misinformation that is going around on social media right now. It does not exist. There's many reasons why. We'll talk more about it later. Please. Thank you. All right. Back into the forecast. In terms of the total rainfall accumulation, we just talked about it, but the Weather Prediction Center has put out a forecast in terms of what to expect when it comes to rainfall. So this is rainfall accumulation. The key is on the right side of your screen. This is through this is through Thursday at 8 p.m., so basically through the entirety of this hurricane. We'll be talking about the potential for the most significant rainfall to be along and north of I-4. This is where 8 to 12 inches of rainfall will be a possibility. So if you're anywhere in this area, that is where you need to be mindful that there will be a potential for flooding. I did mention a few minutes ago, 10 to 15 inches of rain, and then perhaps even isolated potential for 20 inches of rain is going to exist, and that is definitely in play. I still think that this particular forecast right now is on the conservative side of things for the state of Florida. So I still think the rainfall forecast, at least for now, is conservative. Right now, the Weather Prediction Center has a moderate risk for excessive rainfall in effect. That includes Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa Bay, and there's also a moderate risk of excessive rainfall in effect for today across parts of southern Florida. That's what's happening now, and will taper off later tonight. Now, another major concern, and really I'd say debatably the biggest concern out of Hurricane Milton, is going to be the
Today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote appliances.
Live right now on 10 Tampa Bay. You know what? We are tracking Hurricane Milton's potential impacts to the Bay Area and how officials and neighbors are getting ready. We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Frank Wiley.
And I'm Courtney Robinson. Our live team coverage continues this half hour. We do have crews up and down the Gulf Coast, from evacuation efforts in multiple counties to picking up that debris before it becomes a projectile. We do have everything you need to know. I want to give you a live look right now out at the roads this afternoon. People are heeding these evacuation orders, mandatory evacuation orders in place. You are looking at I-4. Of course, all that traffic is heading eastbound, getting out of Tampa Bay. You can see I-275 north as well. We do want to get right over to Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins with a first look at the forecast. And Bobby, there's a lot of false information, some really scary information that's getting spread around. Let's stick with what's on the screen, right?
Yeah, that's right. Pick a trusted source for your weather and your news, and go with that through this, okay? Especially if it's somewhere like us on TV, we're not going to be able to lie to you, right? And keep it through there, because people are just trying to get clicks and that type of thing, and it's not good. That's scary as it is, 175-mile-per-hour winds. Now, we do not expect that here, okay? But that's the clickbait that you're going to see out there for today. I would also tell you, I know a lot of folks are leaving. Download our app, our 10 Tampa Bay app. You can watch coverage that we will do through the storm. Even if you're in Orlando, if you're in Georgia, if you're in Miami, wherever you're going, you'll be able to watch the local coverage from here. Okay, so we'll have you covered. Now, 175-mile-per-hour winds. Look what this thing's been doing. But in the last 12 hours, it went from basically a Cat 1 to a Cat 5. 24 hours, it went from just about 80 to 175-mile-per-hour winds. Amazing. It's moving to the east at 9. Now, here's the forecast track. Drier air, some shear. It does start to weaken a little bit, but we're still thinking Cat 3 at landfall, which would be Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. So the timing for the tropical storm force winds, not the hurricane winds, but the tropical storm force winds, that would be after sunrise on Wednesday morning. Not a whole lot, but after that. So gradually through the day on Wednesday, the winds go downhill. Our probability of seeing that right now is basically close to 100%. We're going to get that, okay? Now, here is the rainfall. We talked a little bit about the rainfall forecast. It looks like wherever the center goes in, and then to the north, we'll have the most rain. So inland flooding will be an issue, especially north of I-4. All right, so keep that in mind as well. If you live somewhere where it normally floods pretty good when it rains heavy, probably going to flood. We're talking 10 to 15 inches of rainfall are possible. Impacts begin especially Wednesday afternoon into the evening hours, go through the first half of Thursday into parts of Thursday night, but we'll be getting better at that time. Tropical storm force winds, just about everybody. Hurricane force winds right along that center where it moves on shore. Highest surge will be just along to the center and the south of where it goes. It's been flip-flopping, and that's why we can't tell you exactly where it's going to go right now. So today you need to stock up, finish your preps, boarding up. This is a board-up storm. If you're wondering, should I board up for this? Yes, you
on
should.
Facebook Live and on YouTube.
Evacuate if you're asked to do so. Don't forget, you can head over to our 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page. We've got great videos on how to get prepared for the hurricane. Lots of steps that you can do around your house today, this afternoon, to help you and your family get prepared. Coming up after this, I'm going to have county by county expectations. Wind, rain, and surge. That's coming up in just about 10 minutes.
A lot to take away. Thank you, Bobby. Perhaps the best part of that, stick with a trusted source, as Bobby just said. We got you covered. Well, right now, mandatory evacuations are happening across Tampa Bay. Hernando and Pinellas counties calling for zones A, B, and C to evacuate. In Pasco, Hillsborough, Manatee, and Sarasota counties, there are mandatory evacuation orders for zones A and B. Now, regardless of your zone, if you live in a mobile or manufactured home,
I'm a little kid. I work on videos every single day on Kurt.
And in Hillsborough County, that evacuation order just went into effect about an hour ago.
10 Tampa Bay's Hannah Deneen is at a rest stop
on
off
the court
I-75
thing,
in Ruskin.
but my dog over
and
here,
many people evacuated
and her
during
say
the
hi
week.
with a background all about video.
Well, and I know a lot of people are coming up from Southwest Florida as well, so you're busy out there.
My dad is something
According to this rest stop has been packed over the last several hours. Parking lot completely full, and some cars have had to pull over on the side here for that extra room. And you can see straight behind me as well, that's I-75 northbound, which has been moving at a crawl over the last several hours. We've been speaking with people here at this rest stop, some driving from as far south as Fort Myers this afternoon, and they all tell me